Okay. Hi, my name is Tupou, and I am a kumu at Windward Community College. I I have been teaching here only a year or so, but I was teaching at KCC for 10 years. It's funny. I graduated in '99 with my master's degree in Pacific Studies, and when I graduated, there were no jobs in Pacific Studies. So I got a job at Kapiolani Community College, and it was the only courses I could teach were Hawaiian Studies or Hawaiian Studies. So I started teaching Hawaiian Studies, and it wasn't until about 2002 that I said, you know what, I want to teach Pacific literature. So I proposed a class and started to teach Pacific literature, and then I started teaching Pacific Studies and Hawaiian Studies. So I was kind of juggling both, which was really cool because it's all interconnected. I think it's about time that the rest of the world is familiar with Mauna Kea, and a Mauna Kea from the sense of it being a very sacred place for us as Hawaiians. The fight has been to keep that place sacred for the last 10 years or so, and it's only now that we're doing protests up there and standing up saying no more 30-meter telescope, no more TMT, that the world is starting to notice that we've had this very sacred place for a very long time, and we've had enough. It's been mismanaged for a very long time. One thing that I think is really cool is through the process, it's kind of gone away as a telescope issue, and now it is a aloha aina issue, or love for the actual land itself. And that's just a bonus, because the world right now is looking at land as someplace we need to take care of, and this is a really good time and timing for us to recognize, appreciate this sacred place. So the timing is good for Mauna Kea. I think it's a movement that has, as I said, kind of come of its time. The place itself as a sacred place is really kind of an important movement for us as Hawaiians. And it's kind of woken up a lot of people that had not been woken up before in regards to taking care of our sacred places. So it's kind of morphed into places such as Waimanalo, where there are bones that are there, that it is a sacred spot, and we're trying to stand up and take care of it. So I think it's just woke up a lot of people that are in the Hawaiian community, and I think it's going to just grow and grow. It's funny because you know the legends of Poliahu and the goddesses that are up at the Mauna Kea location. My husband was in a play years and years ago, and Poliahu was one of the goddesses that was spoken of in the play, and it just kind of reawoke that knowledge of those goddesses. So I've known about Mauna Kea being a sacred place, but as far as the struggle with the telescopes that are up there, probably since about 2015, when this most recent struggle and the protesters were trying to just get people off our Mauna. Personally, it's been probably the first time that I've really made a conscious decision that this is wrong. When you teach the history of Hawaii for 20 years, like I have, people always remark to me, how do you teach this history? And we haven't even gotten that far in the class yet, but how do you teach the history of the overthrow without getting so emotional? And I think I've distanced myself from the emotional side, and Mauna Kea is the first time that I've gotten really emotional, and how I need to step back a little bit and distance myself again, or else it's just heartbreak after heartbreak. But I think it's exciting. I think it's an exciting time because so many people that never got involved in their Hawaiian history are now looking into it and being educated about Mauna Kea, and that's so important. Get educated, and you can't help but feel emotional about the topic. So so far it's kind of had this progression, which I've kind of alluded to, where it was a TMT issue, and then it became more of a environmental issue, and then it's become the protectors of the place. So it kind of moved away from being the issue of building the telescope to become much more global. And I think that's why more people have gotten involved globally, because the world is kind of on a mission of indigenous rights or native rights, and then taking care of our lands, whether they be sacred or not. Our lands are being attacked from all directions, from big business, from environmental concerns. So the Mauna morphed kind of right in front of us and laid out a bigger global issue of taking care of and not letting money and greed dictate how we treat our land. So the Mauna has just kind of evolved into a much bigger thing. And I think that's why so many are getting involved. Yeah. I think what's important about the Mauna is you need to get educated, and you need to understand the whole history, because the protests for the telescope have been happening, like I said, for quite a long time. But it's only since we've gone onto social media that the rest of the world knows what's going on. I would encourage people to get educated, number one. Because it's really important to know what you're fighting for. And there's no way that you can't be connected somehow to it, because you're human and it's a humanity issue. It's not a Hawaiian issue, it's a humanity issue. People are being arrested, people are feeling as though they have to chain themselves to things so that they are noticed. People are feeling it from a Hawaiian sense, but they're also feeling it from an environmental sense. And so I think you need to really investigate all of the issues and not just say, well, that's a Hawaiian issue. You will figure out when you're educated that you are connected, because you're human. So I think it's important to be educated.